Let's do this.
It's time for Hangin' with Langan.
I like that she's got a big dirty mouth that gets her in trouble.
Wow.
Stop me, 'cause I'm having a good time.
Hey, you guys, how are you? Happy holidays. I have a great show for you. And so I always have a great show for you in store. But today I have brought back some of my Hangin' with Langan favorites, my brilliant, fun friends, Ophira Eisenberg. You know her as the host of Ask Me Another. We have the fabulous performer Keith Price, and we have the official Hangin' with Langan historian, Mr. Professor to you, Peter Bales. So we're going to do a best and worst of 2021, from celebs to ridiculous. A little politics, I'm sure, is going to come up, but this is all about laughter, good times, because we want everybody to have a good time. That's what we're doing. I wore my fancy green scarf for the holidays. And today we're not allowed to use the C word. The C word, not what women are called in comedy. It's a different C word. It represents the fake virus. And if they say the C word, we go ding, 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 and then that person has to drink. If you had a goldfish, I would put it in this glass, but I don't have a goldfish to put in this glass. So please, if you're watching this, just share it. Let people know to watch, tune in. We want to get your comments. And if you're watching on the Hangin' with Langan Facebook group page, we want to see your name with your comment. So just go to StreamYard.com/Facebook, click on the blue button, and voila, we are there. All right. So without further ado, let me bring my esteemed guest, the fabulous Mr. Keith Price. Hello, fabulous.
Hi, darling. How you doing?
Do you have your drink ready?
I do.
Can you hold it up?
Hello. I came prepared.
Here's a bottle of Tito's. Okay, for
You
those
know
who
what?
will be
I'm like freaking out because I'm trying to share us live and then listen to you at the same time, and it's like a delay. And I'm like, oh my God, wait, who am I talking to? Who am I talking to? But I'm back.
Share now if you haven't. Share it. Ophira will share it. Peter Bales. Let's bring in the great professor, historian.
Here I am. Hello there.
Hey.
So glad you're here. You have your beverage of choice today?
I have a beverage of choice. This is a little spiked here. This is a diabetic nutritional shake, because that's the kind of a year I'm having.
Oh my.
But everything is wonderful, and I'm ready to roll here. Don't make me hate you.
I love that I've gotten into the Geistite, or whatever that word is.
In my head. I can't.
I have everybody else saying, what's happening now? Like, what's happening? I don't know what's happening. And ladies and gentlemen, one of the smartest. She comes up with words that nobody ever heard of. I love her. She is brilliant. The host of Ask Me Another, or Wait, Don't Talk to Me Anymore, or Get the Fuck Away from Me, Ophira Eisenberg.
Those are all far better names, by the way, for the show. I want wait, don't fucking talk to me. I want that straight.
Before your book, Sleeping My Way to Monogamy, it would have been Wait, Fuck Me. I have a book to write. But,
Yeah, exactly. And I just need two more. I
tease Ophira. What was the name of your book? Because I read it and I interviewed you about it. But what's the official title?
No, you got it right. It was called Screw Everyone, Sleeping My Way to Monogamy.
And I laugh because, we talked about it. We talked about growing up with a mother you could actually talk to about things. I grew up the Irish mother. We don't even acknowledge reproductive organs. Like, I am one of the conceptions. I can't even imagine, writing a book like my mother. I did Daughter of a Garbage Man. And my mother's like, well, I thought you said you were writing a book. You put that stuff on stage? I said, the stage is a lifetime. A book is forever. Well, I didn't know you were going to talk. It wasn't even about sex. It was just about growing up in a crazy family. I can't believe it. So
funny. My poor parents were gone when I started calling myself Ebony Chunky Love. So, luckily they don't have to live with that shame.
You know what's ironic is I call myself the same thing. But you have to have an imagination.
Well, the thing, when I met Keith Price, and he was hosting a fabulous room down on the Lower East Side, what lounge was it?
The Starlight Lounge.
Starlight Lounge. Forgive me.
Avenue A between 10th and 11th Street, yes.
And that's when you called yourself Ebony Chunky Love, and that's when I met you, and I fell in love.
Yes.
In love.
That was actually, I had discovered myself as Ebony Chunky Love on my first trip to Montreal. that happened during that period. And then when I came back, I was like a whole other person. What?
Love.
I could get hot menses looking like this? Shut up. You know what I'm saying? What do I need America for? America's stressing me out. You know what I mean?
Oh, well.
Go Canada.
Why is America stressing you out? I'm trying to get you to say the word because we got to start drinking here.
Yeah, we're going to start drinking. By the way, let me just tag his Canada story with I, as a woman in America, feel like Canada. I have so much to offer, but nobody gives a shit. Thank you.
I always like to say, as a Canadian who
Yes.
became a U.S. citizen recently, by the way, and when I say that to people, they go, "Why?" Interesting. But I always say,
girl.
I know, but I've got both. I've got both sides. That's how I like to play it. But I always feel like, in the last 5 years for America, it's like Canada's slogan should be like, Canada, oh, now you're interested.
That's true. When I performed in Mexico right before the pandemic when all that border stuff, and they said, welcome to the fun side of the border.
Maureen, what pandemic? What pandemic are you talking about?
We can't say, that's the C word, you guys. Anytime somebody says the C word, they get a bell of some sort. And then they have to.
I was trying to get you. Say it.
It could slip. So, all right, let's go to it. The best and worst of 2021. Let's start serious and move lighter. Politics, the biggest stories of the history books we'll look back on and say, can't believe it, for better or for worse. Let's start with the good professor, Peter Bales.
Well, January 6th has to be number one. That was a coup against our country. It was illegal. It was wrong. It was a threat to our democracy. And the people fighting now to prevent a full understanding of what happened should be condemned strongly as possible.
So you think that's a bigger issue than, say, Britney Spears getting her liberty? Okay. All right.
I do, but only by a little bit.
A little bit.
Well, it's all about personal freedom, it sounds like, anyway.
Yes.
Liberty. Ophira, what do you think the history books will go down as saying?
I think it is the possible overturn, and in some states you would say the overturn of Roe versus Wade, and that even being something that is discussed in any way in this year. I remember when I moved to New York 20 years ago, talking to friends about politics, and everyone used to punctuate the same thing because everyone felt that at that time, 20 years ago, things were pretty messed up, or 19 years ago. But they would always punctuate with, but it's not like Roe versus Wade is going to get overturned. I swear, people would say that all the time.
Well, we say that elections have consequences, but people, when they were voting and Hillary said this is going to happen, people said, no, it's part of the fabric. So that's going to go down because it's part of the same thing, the undermining of democracy. It's all those two things are interchanged, like the Christmas paper reads one makes in school back in the days when you were allowed to do that. Now,
what Christmas? I didn't know that was Christmas.
You didn't know? Well,
Oh, well, here in America,
that was Christmas.
That's Christmas.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I thought it was.
It also means something else. Okay. I'm sorry.
Oh, wow. Maureen, are you going back to the days when we used to make the paper link chains? That's what that was.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
People
you for
are
helping
filthy
me.
animals.
I also think Afghanistan is going to go down as an international catastrophe, and we're going to look back at how we had the ability to keep people out of the Middle Ages, and we threw them back in.
I honestly think that Americans care about pocketbook issues. I don't think Afghanistan's going to be remembered. I don't think it's going to be an issue in the midterms, even, certainly not in 2024. Americans really give a distant second place to foreign affairs when it comes to how they vote and what they care
History books. I'm talking history books.
about. I'm talking history books too.
Okay.
Well,
the history books won't give a shit about Afghanistan.
History books will cover it. They will cover it, and it was bad.
Well, this whole period right now that we're in.
Period? Texas, I'm following you to the store. Are you buying tampons or a test?
None of your business. You leave me alone. I don't have 10 grand for you, sister. No, but here's the thing. It's like, I feel like right now what we're experiencing, what we're seeing is, though this is truly that piece of American history and this time that we're living in the world, that like when we read the history books and we think about, oh, what was it like living during the Civil War? Well, only the people that lived during the Civil War could really tell you what was that experience is like. And this is one of those times that I feel like this entire nation now has the opportunity to talk about everything that's going wrong with this country, and there's a record of it. There's a constant record. And I think that in terms of what's big for this year, in terms of historical, I feel like, in addition to everything else that's happening, it's certainly the racial reckoning that we are experiencing to some degree over the course of this past year.
Keep going, Keith. You're the host now. Oh wait, she's back.
No, she's back.
I know. I was like, you've walked, Maureen. What?
I can't take it anymore. I gotta go.
She can't take it anymore.
Racial what?
What?
200 years, whatever, blah. Okay.
460 something years, whatever. It's a long time of stress. But
we weren't math majors, but we know it was a long time.
But in the end, it's sort of like one of those issues that it feels as if this has been the year that at least to some small inkling, we've seen at least a real application of what we at least perceive as justice.
Well, let me ask, Keith, do you think the Black Lives Matter movement is lasting? I think the Me Too movement is lasting. Do you think that we're going to have this kind of momentum 5 years from now?
Well, if we do not get the voting scenario popping and in the right direction, Black Lives Matter will still be around in a very strong way, because that's also tied with our voting privileges, and that's also tied to a lot of the rights that, at least for people of color and certainly Black folks, are looking for. Like that's essential. I mean, and that is where our power is supposed to be. And so we are in the same struggle right now to capture and recapture our own power. And so, I feel as if people don't understand that if this voting thing goes in the toilet between now and next November, this country will not be the same country that we know of. And if I were Ophira, I would be packing up my family and hauling my cookies right back to Canada, because and I'm gonna probably follow right behind you, because the Canadian men love me. But I want to follow back to Canada because honestly, this will not be America. This will be that weird fictionalized America, like what would happen if the Confederacy had won kind of America.
Right.
You know what? Excellent point. You should drink just for making a great point. Why wait to say the C word? Let's just,
Well, I gave you one, Confederacy.
That's a different one. And may I say, I think when it comes to pads and tampons, Keith Price is a diva cup.
Yes.
Diva
Thanks,
cup.
darling.
I'm gonna fake that I get that joke.
No, good point. And I don't think, and we're going to move on to celeb stuff. If you're just tuning in now, my guests, Ophira Eisenberg, Peter Bales, Keith Price, my favorites of Hanging with Langan, who've been really supportive and part of the show since I started it. And follow it, you guys, on the Apple, on the Spotify, on the Patreon, on the .com, as my Irish mother calls it. Anybody says the C word, they get the bell, they have to drink. They may just get the bell because I feel like they should have the bell. We're doing a 2021 best of, worst of. We're going to wrap up the politics thing in a moment. But I think what Keith just said is it's going to look like as if the Confederacy won. That is really powerful, what you just said. And I literally have goosebumps hearing that. It's way powerful. And that's going to be something I'm going to say repeatedly, and I'll quote you. Forget it. Let's go move on and laugh. Okay, because it's too painful.
All right.
The pain here. Cheers, you guys. The pain.
Oh, the pain.
Here's to pain. Here's to numbing.
Oh, less pain.
Don't wonder what's in my coffee. I'm just saying. Hello.
Hold up the bottle, Keith. Show everyone.
Oh, this little thing. Shh.
Shout out to Donna. Donna loves you, Keith. Donna
Hi, Donna. Yes, my Donna. We used to work together at Columbia Presbyterian. Hey.
Oh,
8 Tower. Oh no, 8 Central, 4 Tower. We had 2
Very
floors
good.
when I
Very
worked there.
specific. Cynthia, hello. Dana Friedman says she'll see you at the duplex tonight. Go. I'll see you there in a week.
Ooh.
All right,
you guys. Celebrity news. Let's go. Standout people, standout moments. Most annoying person of the year. Let's start with Ophira.
I'm going to say annoying. I'm going to say people, and I put them both as best and as a group, which is all the TikTok dancers.
Now, are you upset because you can't do the choreography, which is what
I certainly can't. Certainly
yes.
can't. But it's all the same. It's all like.
Somebody said to me, Maureen, why aren't you on TikTok? I go, why? Because I got to do this all day? Well, guess what happened? Why do I cook? I cook because I'm like, what's happening? What is happening? I don't understand this. I just want people to come to my stand-up shows and buy Don't Make Me Hate You merchandise. Oh, speaking of, sorry, Don't Make Me Hate You merchandise available for the holiday season. MaureenLangan.com, aprons, t-shirts, masks, coasters. Get cool in the waves of the pool. Okay, so there we go. Don't Make Me Hate You merchandise. A lot of good stuff. Back to our regularly scheduled programming.
I want to be a model for your stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great idea.
I'll bring one for you at the duplex. Did I give you a shirt or didn't I, Keith?
I don't have. Well, I mean, I think the first round they were a little, not my size, if you know what I'm saying. And now that Miss COVID has had, oh shush, Mama, damn it! Dang it! Hello. Woo.
By the way, my friend used to tour with t-shirts, and he would only make extra small and extra large. It was the greatest.
It's like, what's so sad is as of late that extra large would actually fit me like an extra small. But that's beside the point.
Well, we're
all working on it now.
I have a t-shirt aside comment. My friend who used to work in fashion said, Maureen, why did you buy smalls? Nobody buys smalls. Yeah, they do. Go to an event where there are some women who are like upper middle class and they don't want to acknowledge that they're my size 10. They all buy the small because they think they're small.
Yeah, and then it's weirdly on their dog.
Mm-hmm. However, just buy the damn shirt, baby.
Keith, who's your most annoying person, place, thing of 2021?
Well, honestly, it's pretty much all of Fox News and Fox Media and everything attached to that.
Oh, you took mine.
I am beyond annoyed with it because the pervasiveness of it now is so disgusting, and that we still have a sector and a population of our country that is still mesmerized and mystified and under some sort of Svengali spell when it comes to all of that stuff, and just refusing to live in this reality. It's like, you don't want to say everything has to go because everybody's going to call their First Amendment rights. But my thing is that as much as these idiots are, pushing their Second Amendments that are going to keep folks from enjoying their First Amendments, then they should not be able to enjoy their First Amendments either. You know what I'm saying? Like, so let them, I'm sorry that they tried to set your Christmas tree on fire. But your holiday spirit and their whole energy is so laughable and so, especially after all of the stuff that's just come out this week about which Fox hosts have certain members of the staff on their speed dial that they can text them. I'm just saying things are not as cute as it should be, and so they annoy the F out of me, and because they're becoming celebrities at the same time too. So,
okay. So, do you want to piggyback on that, Peter Bales, Professor? Peter?
Now I want two. I want two choices. I want to build on what Keith said, and I'm going to build
it back better. Go, Peter. Build it back.
Right. I'm building it back better,
Daddy.
Keith, I agree 100%. And I want to add Steve Bannon to that. Anybody who is a celebrity just by breaking the law, just by attacking our Constitution, deserves to be the most annoying person of the year. Steve Bannon. And also, I want to add Britney Spears' father to that. Let her go. Let her have her freedom. Let her have her money. My God, what are you doing to this woman?
Okay. I say, Bannon, I hope he does go to jail because at least you can get a shower there. I think that's a good thing for him. Wasn't on my list. On my list is the most annoying person thing event are those stupid, smelly insurance commercials with every freaky animal or a creepy animal or some bird or some turkey or some featherless freak, an emu, a kangaroo, a caribou. Stop. Just freaking stop with your stupid, smelly insurance. It doesn't make me feel safe. I don't feel safe if that's your instinct, but that's what I want. And that guy who looks like he was a porn star, that one with the walking around with some freaking freaky bird, I can't. It must go away.
It's very Orwellian. It's
Okay.
totally George Orwell talking Animal Farm. Totally.
All right,
I love it.
Maureen, just
Yes.
let's watch the caffeine, please. You're over the top here.
Peter, that ain't caffeine.
Okay.
Not yet. Well, okay. All right. So let's move on. The most overrated person, place, thing, event of 2021. Please let us begin with Mr. Peter Bales.
The most overrated thing of 2020, the Super Bowl. I think it's hype.
Wasn't expecting that.
Yes. Let's bring. I know this is an intellectual panel, and here I am bringing. Well, I should have said NASCAR, but the Super Bowl. I think it's overhyped. I think it's not what America's about. I think. And by the way, I'm going to be controversial here.
Oh.
But let me ask all of you: if you had a child who was 10 and wanted to get involved in football in school, would you, as a parent, let them? I want to ask the three of you that.
Depends how
Football.
likable the kid was.
Well, I say we just ask Ophira because she's the only one of them got a child.
Yeah, we are heavily against sports in our house, just based on the fact that we have no ability. So how could we possibly?
Much less the time to keep taking them a damn practice.
But no, football. I find. I have great hope that if my child currently is not drawn towards football, I would basically deter him and offer him anything else, just because of the safety issue and it's ridiculous.
Okay,
Yes.
that's what I was hoping you'd say. You'd send your child toward poker before you'd send them towards football.
Oh yeah, I would be like, how about a competitive eating career?
Yes, hot dogs, Coney Island. Okay,
Hey,
so
dimes.
Ophira, you're most overrated of 2021.
Okay, first of all, I think that the Olympics personally shouldn't have happened.
Okay.
Again, with
So
sports, you hate the sports. You hate the sports.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like because I just feel like those were the things that got a lot of attention in terms of the commercial space because they were trying to deter us.
Sour grapes. Canada never wins.
Sour grapes.
Yeah, I know, and it was the winter. It was the winter. But also, I think the whole response to poor Simone Biles' decision, that was just like, that didn't have to be 40,000 think pieces, and I was also like, this is just another thing to be like, who's got an opinion? Who cares?
Bravo.
I disagree. Canada does win. Who said Canada never wins? They always win that Swiffer commercial thing that you do, where you blow on the ice and you have that broom. They always win the Swiffer.
Trust me, if you like drinking, you would love curling.
Oh, yes.
How about this? When I had a radio show on in San Francisco, and I said to my producer, I want to talk to somebody about the Swiffer, the curling. And she misunderstood, and some guy shows up with a stick. So I have to talk about hurling.
That's the best.
I don't know what we're going to talk about, dude, but let's do it. It was funny. All right. Mr. Price, most overrated of 2021.
Rich guys in space.
Oh. Yes.
It's like I like the idea that we have given rich people an opportunity to have the most expensive amusement park ride ever. It's like, we're gonna go up and we're gonna come back down. We're gonna go up, we're gonna roll around, and it's like, and the idea that this is some sort of progress in terms of this conversation. I had this. Okay, I'm not one necessarily to say that I do enjoy conspiracy theory. However, the constant conversation that we have about the moon landing and how people keep saying it's faked and all this other stuff. And I had this question when I was watching clips of it. I was like, who was holding the camera that got the shot of them coming out of the spaceship? And then when you think about our technology and how in just the last few years, how our technology has just gone like cray-cray, how is it that we managed to get to the moon in 1960? Thank you. Now we get to the moon in 1969 or whatever it was. Yeah, 1969. And we ain't been back since. Like, how is it that our technology didn't get us? Like, that was a huge leap, technologically speaking.
For mankind.
we should have been able to like really move forward on all of that, but we kind of sort of didn't. And I'm like, and we haven't since. And I only say this only because I just saw the last season of Lost in Space. So,
Did the moon just get boring? Wasn't that it?
Keith, you're not criticizing William Shatner in any way.
Oh, God.
Well, I mean,
I admire William Shatner ever since I was a kid. Anybody who can go every week to a different planet and meet a hot babe, you have to respect that. I'm sorry.
It was a different time. But like I'm saying,
it was a different time.
Like, to get excited about seeing Michael Strahan get in a spaceship,
well, I do
not for nothing, brother. If you really think going to space is gonna save you, like you're gonna go to space with white people that don't want to work. So guess what you're gonna be doing?
All right. My overrated
like, there's your future in space.
You only hope they get lost in space.
Funny.
2021, my most overrated, Pete Davidson. What the hell is going on with that freak? What does everybody want to screw him? Okay, maybe it's the big thing, but that can only last so long. You can buy a big thing. We live in New York. There's lots of big things you can buy. What the hell are people doing with Pete Davidson? Okay, there we go. Now,
they say he's got a great sense of humor.
Yeah, that's always been the big thing.
I would like to move on to the most confusing of 2021. May I begin with the politically incorrect him, he, her, they, them. Confusing, open to learning, but I'm just confused right now. On a plane with a woman tells me that her daughter is transgender, mucho respect, want her to be safe, want her to have a great life, totally. She tells me this is the first time I learned about all the new pronouns. I mean, in my family, my brother's is me, 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 me. That one I get. However, she says to me on the plane that her daughter moved to Chicago. Her name is Nikki. Nikki's a lawyer. She's really big in the art community. She loves art galleries. And anyway, one night it was really dark out. And then when they turned the corner, I go, wait, you just added a new character to the story. Who's they? You said they is she. But I know you said she, but who was with Nikki? She goes, no, they were just alone. I go, I have no idea what's happening. I don't know who I'm sitting next to. I don't know if the woman had too much drink. I said, I just don't get it. That was my first experience with they. And then I said, she goes, well, she is they. I go, but does it have to be more than one to be a they? No, I mean, it could be, but it doesn't have to be. I said, well, if she was with a he, would it be a they? Is he a they? Well, if he identifies as a they, he's a they. But if he doesn't identify as they, he's just he. I said, who's on earth?
But if they are with he and you're talking about them together, then they are together. So you could grammatically, they're still both they, and you're safe.
Right.
You don't have to worry about whether he or they or she, whatever's going on with them. You just have to be very.
You know what? That's perfect. You don't have to worry about anything that's going on with them. That's the clincher right there.
Them and they, and then you're always in the clear. And if they want to correct you that it's he or she,
they will.
Then they will. But this way, I think that's the safe card. Just everybody's they until
I just
they
need another word though, because they can be singular, and I got to know how many people I'm envisioning during the story.
No, you got
to stop caring about numbers. Stop caring about numbers.
Well, that's easy for me because I hate math.
Because you have to remember that the concept and the construct has been stripped away by calling it they. Therefore, in the grammatical world, you cannot apply they to the conversation.
And there is also a case, may I say, that someone that might assume.
I need to drink some more of this Tito, girl. Yeah. It's like, I'm getting all intellectual and cute. Talk to me. Hello.
But you might also assume that someone would be taking a pronoun they or them but they might make a decision that no, it is very important for them to be seen as a he or she. So you also can't make an assumption about someone's identity. They're going like, oh, I get it. I'm going to be so.
I'd like to add that I am completely confused by what the three of you are talking about. Utterly lost.
We are
white man. Of course you are, white man.
How do you mean that in a nice way?
But you know when you're not trying to identify anybody by gender, you're just following a story and like, oh my God, they went around a creepy corner. Who were they? Who was she with? No, it was just she. Who was they? I'm like, what? I just jumped out of the story. I was there. It was riveted. What just happened? Okay, anyway.
As long as it doesn't end with third base. You know what I mean? Like.
All right, and the other thing that confused me is Jesse Smollett or Smollett.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yes, very controversial.
Ooh.
Eddie Clark. Hey, Eddie Clark. This show makes me smarter. He says Eddie just had twins, a little boy, a little girl.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Why
That
not?
you brought them into this world. I'm just kidding.
Hello,
That's a
Eddie.
single guy.
All the
Good
best,
for
baby,
you.
to your babies. Beautiful little ones. Ava
You got
and
a lot
Joe.
of work ahead of you, my friend. That's all I'm saying. You go.
He already did a few times. This guy, he wants to get
them in this
Larry King
craziness. This is crazy time.
a
So
run for his money. All right.
Mm.
Dana Friedman. Hi,
Congratulations,
Dana.
Dana Friedman.
Hey, Dana.
Right.
That's right. Everyone is she.
Everybody is she. Yes, honey.
Well, for those who are just listening
But that's the gay rule, though. You can't use that with straight people because they get nervous when you start calling men she.
Well, those of you who are listening on the podcast and can't see the comment, Dana Friedman says drag queens have it right. To them, everybody is she or honey or Mary or something like that. Right.
Miss Thing. I love Miss Thing personally. That's my favorite reference. Everybody's Miss Thing to me. Ooh, Miss Thing.
Most confusing, either of you, any of you, them?
Let's build on this theme. The term Latinx is confusing to me.
And why is that, Poppy?
Because you're married to one.
I am married to one, and I have to get it right. Otherwise, nothing happens. So I guess Latino, if you're using it for everyone, Latino covers Latinas as well, but there's Latino, Latina, and I guess Hispanic is not a preferred term as much anymore.
No, sir.
Right.
I'm trying to
repeat that for me.
What, the Latinx versus Latino? Well, see, again, we're in the same place with the they, them stuff in English. The Latinx is becoming that kind of thing in which we're stripping away the rules of grammar, which means that when you have if you have a gaggle of women who are Latinas, then that's Latinas. If you have a gaggle of men, then it's Latinos. But if there's one man in a gaggle of Latinas, then the whole group becomes Latinos, which is the way that the grammar part works. So what's happening now within the community, I guess, is that they are now also taking away all of those particular labels in order to just call it one. So if you're Latinx, that means you're he, she, they under this Latino vibe energy, and that's the answer. Now, whether
so it's actually easier.
Huh? Which is easier.
It's actually easier. Yeah.
But if everybody wants to be who they want to be and they got to have their distinction, then that's when you have all the problems.
All right, Keith, I think you're too smart for this show.
I'm hosting this. No, he's not. You know what? I know you hang out with Peter Bales when you're not on this show, but no, he's not.
Keith, what do you think is a good term to describe somebody like me, a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant male? How would you describe it?
Human.
Human.
I'll let you have just human.
All right.
I would say I would call you like potentially canceled. Like you just gotta make one wrong move. One wrong move, my friend.
That last statement. Ophira, that last statement is going to be my opening line with therapy this week. You have given me something to worry about and talk about in therapy. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
One wrong sentence missing and the party is
We're listening. We're
We don't care about your apologies. We don't care about nothing. You are
we know you won't apologize, right? We know.
That's why I'm going to let you just be human, Peter.
Hey, for those of you tuning in now, we're talking the best, the worst of 2021 with some of the best people I know. Ophira Eisenberg, you know her as the host as NPR's Ask Me Another or Go Fuck Yourself. It's one of those.
That's the one.
Professor Peter Bales, my official historian, and the fabulous Keith Price, always on Sirius Radio, and just all around fabulous, as they all are.
Thank you.
You know what, though, too? That's So, okay, let's talk about. I want to. Did you guys get this? I want to talk about a couple things I've mucho respect this year. I'm going to throw a few out. We don't have to elaborate. You guys can get to yours. Mental health. People coming out talking about their mental health, making it real, and even if some of it just goes on and everybody has to have an opinion. Whether you like Harry, I love little Harry, that young boy coming out, honoring his mother by finding his own way. does he talk a little bit too much about the family secrets? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe, whatever. Except I want to know who said, what color's your baby? And I would love to see. I haven't seen the new one.
Why do you have to ask? You know who it is.
That's right.
Come on now.
No, no mystery.
And since then, he's gone on to his great reward. I'm just saying, Grandpa acts.
No, he said it wasn't the grandpa.
No,
he said it wasn't. It's Chuck. It's Prince Chuck. Money down on Chuck.
Thinking he was being funny. Oh well.
And
we should add them to the overrated crowd too, the Royals. But I'm sorry, that was last segment.
You said overall mental health was a good thing, that people are talking about it more aware of it. My own mental health has been improving until this show.
You know what? I'm going to take you. Okay, this is what we're doing. Bye. So.
Oh, look at that! Such power.
Look at that. That's what we have to do to white men already. We just gotta silence them. No,
we just canceled him. And when he behaves after you two give yours, I may bring him back in. What I wanted to do was add to Lady Gaga to that. There was a show called The Me You Can't See with Prince Harry, Gaga, and a couple of other people who are considered quite successful by our standards. But yet she talked about the pain she deals with, how she gets up, she eats healthy, she does her exercise to get herself grounded. I love that woman. And they called it The Me You Can't See because obviously about your insides. On the other hand, you couldn't find it. I didn't know if it was on Hulu, Netflix. I wanted to know them. It just took me so long to find them, so I could not see them. So it had like a double meaning, the title. All right, thank you.
You searched and searched.
Yeah.
Well, I love it because we're now seeing, and this is something that, I mean, you guys don't necessarily would subscribe to.
I'm back.
Hey, Poppy. You subscribe to is that the fact that for Black people, African Americans in this country, to see someone like Simone Biles, to see what was the tennis player that was at the French Open? What was her name? Oh my goodness!
One of the twins.
Osaka. No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, right.
And how she was like, "I'm not talking to the press. I'm not doing this." But like, for people of color, we have always had the, he ain't crazy. He just, somebody need to whoop his behind, or somebody need to give him the belt or something like that. And we have always dismissed mental health issues in our community. And what's so wonderful now, especially when you see, Serena Williams and all of these folks who are in this place of excellence as we see it from our sides, we see excellence, to know that they are struggling with, their own postpartum depression. They're struggling with just depression in general. Like, and at the same time, what they're doing forces them to be so out there and so in the world that they can't address it. And they don't get the energy to do it. And when they take the time to do it in the middle of what they're doing, it forces us as a community, at least for Black people, to look at that and be like, well, shit, if she's, I know I've been feeling sad last week, but I ain't know why. But now I understand that it's probably because I'm depressed. And now seeing those people say that they have depression makes it easy for someone like me to say that I have depression, or someone who's like me to say that they are dealing with their depression and be able to go look for help.
Well, and also you don't have to feel like, if I guess when you reach a certain level of success, this goes away. Like there is also just a opening, which I think what's very interesting right now is it's like dismantling. There's a lot of dismantling going on in every way, good or bad, but there's also a dismantling of like the way that celebrity is consumed and the way that capitalism feeds on this. And I think I don't think capitalism is going to collapse anytime soon. No. But I do like that there is a little bit more attention being paid to, or just like individual choice of people just going like, I refuse to participate in the machine that is just trying to, like, fine, don't endorse me.
Right. That's it. You don't like it?
Yeah.
You don't like it, then don't buy it. You don't want to have it. You hate gay marriage, don't get married. You hate abortion. It's like, that's really where we should be trying to force people to start thinking. Like, if you don't like something, okay, fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what happened with vaccines.
Keep going. Life is cute. Then don't. You don't like, then don't.
Ophira, you said that's what happened with whom?
Vaccines.
Well,
but I just found out. I'm someone called there's anti-vaxxers, which I'm not. That there's a term for me, super vaxxer. I'm a super vaxxer.
Yeah.
Get it
Which
all.
sounds
Get 'em.
powerful.
Get them.
But it also means my ideology, which is true. I think people should be able to make their choice. But if you decide not to get vaccinated, I think you should be you're just not able to participate in society.
But what about, yes, that's right. You're not, that's the good point though, because you can't go to school. People don't have polio now. They don't have smallpox. They don't have diphtheria. I never knew what that was anyway. But the thing, I wouldn't know if I had it because I don't know
Whooping
what it
cough.
And
Right.
Tussis, whatever that thing is.
one of the worst things that happened in
he's back.
2021 was I'm out of Langan jail. One of the worst.
No, you're not.
All right, I'm being discriminated against. My gender, my ethnicity.
Oh, we didn't get to your ethnicity yet.
No, my ethnicity.
Okay.
No, what I'm trying to say is in 2021, we have continued disrespect for experts. All right. People
Yes.
who go on Facebook, people who get their information from people who are non-experts. I know enough. One of the smartest things that you can do is to know what you don't know and rely upon experts. And I'm going to listen to people who publish in peer-reviewed journals and have the medical credentials to say what a vaccine is, what it does, how safe it is. I'm not going to listen to my cousin. I'm not going to listen to somebody on we've got to listen to experts, not only on vaccines, but on everything. That's the reason we have experts.
Right.
And they are now disrespected.
Before I knew global warming, before it became really in the mainstream, the attention of all of us, I remember years ago, a friend of mine who was Foxified, who went over to the cult, she said to me, so do you believe in global warming? This was years and years ago. I go, well, I didn't like science in high school, but the basic greenhouse effect where your car is hot when you go in because it gets trapped and it can't escape. I remember that in basic science. So I would imagine if we have a layer of crap in the sky, the sun comes in, it can't escape, and that would make things hotter. So you believe it? I believe it. I don't think this is coming up with something. All right.
But see, you know what's funny though, Maureen, is like when you tell stories like that about people that say stupid shit like that to you, what I'm sorry, I didn't mean to swear, but what I get so irritated is that these folks are acting as if for some reason they have become Nobel Prize laureate researchers.
Totally.
And that, whatever so-and-so did. It's like, I was a biology major when I was in college. And when all of this stuff started, I actually reached out to my former vertebrate physiology professor to thank her and to tell her, between her and the woman who taught our microbiology class, Dr. Edmondson, she's no longer there, but she's not doing much. Anyway, so Dr. Edmondson, who's retired long since, and Dr. Silverthorne, who I reached out to, I said to them, thank you so much, because I never thought when I started having conversations with people about what I know about the virus scenario, the structure and what it means and how it functions, that I was really speaking from a place of knowledge, because I forgot that I had studied that when I went to college. And so when I have these conversations, it's like, did anybody take a virology course? No, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. So the basic structure of how a virus works. So I got all this heat when I wrote this piece about how I said that Donald Trump was a living human personification of a virus. And I went through all the viral steps that happen with a viral reproduction and compared to what he's been doing and what he had done. And people were like, that's so weird. I said, but can someone get the virologist to criticize what I'm saying and tell me that I'm wrong? It's like, no, because I know how a virus works. It's like,
Right.
Good for you.
Well, someone very close to me told me that they're not getting vaccinated, and I said, why? And you know what? I would have respected them more if they said something like, because I hear that then you have superpowers afterwards, or then you're gay, or then you become, a different gender, or like whatever it is. But they just did the old, and then I'd be like, all right, well, whatever. But instead they just said, the standard, like, well, it's an experimental drug. And I was like, no, the CDC has, I said the first most basic thing back, the CDC and the FDA have approved it. And their response was, well, if you believe in the FDA. And I was like, all right,
we're done. This party's over.
You just can't. I used to bike with these bunch of fellas and women a bunch of exes. I biked with a bunch of exes, and they were all, it was funny because I was living on the West Coast for a short time, and they were all professors or the head of stuff at Stanford. They're like, hi, I'm the head of molecular biology. I'm the head of pediatric research. I go, I know the proper use of semicolons. So they would have Zoom meetings during the virus and talk about this and talk about the NRA and the mitochondrial, and they're like, Maureen,
mitochondrial ribonucleic acid.
How do I say
RNA.
mitochondrial?
One of my favorites.
mRNA, baby.
Mitochondrial? Am I saying mitochondrial?
There's messenger RNA, and then there's
Right,
mitochondrial RNA. And the mitochondrial RNA is the stuff that's actually in the mitochondria. But the messenger RNA is the protein sequence that is what.
I just wanted to know how to pronounce.
I'm sorry.
Okay, he has to take a timeout. So, a little timeout.
Speaking as someone who did not take biology in college, I took highlights of astronomy because it was the easiest.
Moons for Goons.
Yes, I love it. I trust the experts. You have to trust the experts. And yes, the vaccine was developed quickly compared to other vaccines in the past, but that's because it's 2021 and we can move faster.
We can do that.
We can do it.
Also, a friend of mine who is a scientist said, well, there's one thing I understand because using the mRNA, I guess, what am I saying, delivery of the vaccine. He goes, it opens up things like maybe we can start injecting people to improve their intelligence. And I was like, can we do that to the non-vaxxers quickly?
Yes,
How quickly can we do that?
You guys, we're going to have to wrap up in a few minutes. So I want to move to a few more things. I like that. I like her point, what Ophira just said. I'm going to go through a couple things I didn't get to. You guys can bring up a couple things you want. To me, one of my most respected journalists, Fareed Zakaria on CNN, Global GPS. The man is brilliant. Follow him. My Dolly Parton, love her. Helps kids read, gets books out there, and donated $1 skillion to the fake virus research. Also, to ridiculous people, you overwoke, stupid, silly, daffodils, but you can't call these overwoke people a daffodil because then they think of not a flower in a garden, they think of flour in bread, and they're gluten intolerant, so now they're triggered. So San Francisco, 2 cops came in to have lunch on their beat, and they were kicked out of a restaurant because the guns triggered, but they're welcome back when they're not on duty. Hey, restaurant in San Francisco, I pray to God you don't have any robberies and need to call them. There are bad cops out there, but man, there are people risking their lives for you. Get some common freaking sense. They want to go home to their families too. Don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. And what else do I got? Love, 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 love. And love my buddies here. I'm very grateful for you. So we can, listen, you guys have been so good to me while I've been doing this. We've all been struggling during this pandemic. It's been tough times on everyone. So let's promote where you guys are, what's coming up. Because right now we're like, New Year's Eve. Anybody have something New Year's Eve around something coming up?
If you're in Portland tonight, I'm at the Arlene Schnitzer Concert Hall hosting a Moth main stage. No, that's wrong, Maureen, because I forgot. This is later. Okay. December 24th, 25th, 26th, Zoom show. I'm part of Kung Pao Kosher Comedy. It's me and Jessica Curson and Lisa Goldugig and her mother actually are performing together. It's a Zoom show, so anyone can join from anywhere. And if you are interested, formerly it was a live show in San Francisco at a Chinese restaurant for Jews on the 24th, 25th, and 26th. But now it's a Zoom show this year, so everyone can stay safe.
And I have to tag that. I know Lisa Goldugig. This is a mainstay of San Francisco. This is one of the best, the most revered comedy shows. Everybody, you're lucky that it is going to be on Zoom because it used to just be open to people in San Francisco. Always a sellout. I just posted promoting that for both you and Jessica. So you guys are.
Thank you. Thank you.
Huh? Very good. I hope Portland went well. I bet that was great. So Peter, what do you have coming up, darling?
This is so nice that I get to plug Stand Up University. I've been teaching comedy classes here on Long Island for 23 years. StandUpUniversity.com. And we do it at the Brokerage Comedy Club, owned by the governor's folks. And check us out because Everybody wants to do stand-up comedy. It's very hard to start out. Sometime, Maureen, you can ask comedians, and I bet you all have an answer. The first time you ever stepped on stage, was it a good experience? Was it scary? Was it a nightmare? We make it a positive experience. I bet all of you have memories of your first time on stage, and I hope it wasn't too traumatic, because it's not so easy. Not so easy, right?
You're good hands with Peter. Seriously,
Oh,
he will really guide you, and he really gives a crap about you doing well. Danny McKenna, the manager of our beloved Rascals, that is gone. Do clubs still use a red light, or is it too political?
That's hilarious. Well done.
Well done. Keith Price, what do you got?
Yes, my darling. Well, sadly, right at this particular moment, I am only just drinking and preparing myself for the holidays season, because I am not going to necessarily be performing, although I am open and available for anybody who needs me.
How can people follow you? How can
they
they
find me at Comedy Daddy on the Twitter, KeithPriceComic.com. I'm still podcasting my Keith Price Curtain Call podcast now that I've got my video angles together. So keep flashing back to see the latest interviews that I'm doing with Broadway Fabulousness. And boom.
Woo woo. Okay, and I want to let folks know New Year's Eve, Langan here at the Schubert Theater in New Haven, Connecticut. 8 o'clock.
Great.
Yeah.
Come on down. Love to see you there New Year's Eve. Also, my Don't Make Me Hate You special. All right, truth be told, we did record this just maybe a day or two before this. So right now, my Don't Make Me Hate You dry bar special could have been released on Christmas Day.
Perhaps.
But this might be airing before. It doesn't matter. It just look, my Don't Make Me Hate You special dropping very soon. And Don't Make Me Hate You items over my shoulder. There's a Don't Make Me Hate You t-shirt. I have aprons. I have coasters to go with that wine you're giving as a gift. We have it all. Just go to MaureenLangan.com and you'll see, go to the store there. And also, we're all available to host your shows. I do corporate speaking, moderating, bringing in the journalism background. Want to hire us as a group? Whatever you need, we'll put something great together. Listen to Ophira Eisenberg on NPR's Ask Me Anything. Peter Bales, Bales, go to his website, sign up for his class, give it as a gift. That's a nice gift.
All right.
You know, just like, and watch my buddy Keith Price, who has one of the biggest hearts on the human planet. And we toast to all of you. We wish you good health, and we wish us all a lot of fun in the new year, 2022. Raise your glasses.
I'm giving the whole bottle, honey. Hey.
All right, you guys. Love you guys. So what I'm going to do, you know the routine. Here we go. I'm really technical. I'm very good at this. Maureen Langan, just stand by caller. Stand by caller. What, you're going to love my ending. I worked hard on this. I've just become so talented. All right. Until we meet again. Bye, wig. Mwah.
No.
Oh, wait. Somebody screwed it up.
No, you cannot leave me like that.
Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review, and feel free to share it with a friend.
Please don't go, please.
I'll be back.
Au revoir.